I demand to be put in a seat that is able to recline. A few years ago I was on a flight from LA to Singapore, take 16 plus hours. I'm a tall dude around 6 feet 3 inches, 190 cm, so I don't fit very well in economy class seats. On most planes my knees are often very close or right up against the seat in front of me. This makes it impossible for the person in front of me to recline their seat, which usually isn't a problem once the person in front of me sees how cramped I am in those tiny seats. However, for this particular flight the man in front of me was not having it. He tried to recline his seat but couldn't because my legs were there. He turns around and sees what's happening and asks me something along the lines of, "Do you mind letting me put my seat back?" I respond with, "I wish I could but I physically can't. I'll do my best to give you as much space as I can but it won't be much." At this point he starts to get angry and just starts pushing as hard as he can back on his seat. Needless to say this was not particularly pleasant for me. I ask him to please stop. And he says, "I'll stop when I can put my seat back." I decide I'll just wait him out, he'll eventually get tired. After about 10-15 minutes of this he calls a flight attendant over and proceeds to demand a new seat. The flight attendant tells him there are no available seats and he will have to deal with it. He demands to speak to the pilot, so the flight attendant goes up front to talk to the cockpit. Keep in mind that throughout this he is still pressing with all his might against my knees with only short breaks to yell at the flight attendant. After a couple of minutes the co-pilot, he wanted to speak to the pilot and wasn't happy about this, comes back and tries to explain to the man that he can't change seats because there are no other coach seats free. The man continues to demand a seat that is able to recline. "Give me an upgrade, this is unacceptable," making a scene, etc. The co-pilot finally gives in and says while looking at the man, "Sir, would you like to sit up in business class?" The man stands up and mutters something similar to, "fudging," finally, to which the co-pilot responds, "Sir, sit down, I wasn't talking to you." He turns to me and repeats, "How would you like a seat in business class?" I have to this day never seen someone as furious as the man as I walked past him to my new business class seat, with free drinks. The pilot made the right call. I hope to hell he had a shiz-eating grin while saying it and you two giggled all the way to business class. My fiancé is 6 feet 9 inches and sends a virtual high five because you understand his pain and got the best revenge he's heard of. Does this guy think the pilot equals manager? Pilot is busy flying the plane, piss off. Planes are a nightmare for basically everyone and it would be better if people like this were more considerate. I never recline because it barely does anything and potentially makes the person behind me more cramped. The fact that this dude really acted like you should have just popped off your kneecaps so he could have a meager 2-inch recline really rusts my pants. This brings me great joy that the steward did that. The douche deserved it, and a few wet willies coming his way if you ask me. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video give it a like and subscribe, it's free. Check out some other videos I've made.